Today we are talking about triggers. Yes, you heard me right. We're talking about triggers. And that borrows from the language of weaponry, particularly guns. They have a tiny part. When it is pulled back, it's able to unleash the explosive part and basically wreak a lot of havoc. But we're not talking about it from that perspective. When you look up the word triggers or triggered, the verb, in the online space, you'll realize that it has a lot to do with what goes on. It has a lot to do with how we react to situations. And so I looked it up, and one of the online dictionaries talks about it, says it's when you experience a strong emotional reaction of fear, shock, anger, or worry. A strong emotional reaction of fear, shock, anger, or worry. And then it goes on to say that this usually happens because of some past event, something that has happened in your past that shows up in your present and is about to show up again in your future. That's what triggers are all about. And so I'm asking you, have you been triggered lately? I want to believe that as a nation, elections, post-elections, the electoral process tends to be a trigger moment in our national psyche. Why do I say that? Because by and large, because of the things that have happened in the past, the electoral process and times around elections tend to be marked by any of these things. There's strong emotional reactions. There's usually fear, there's usually shock, there's usually anger, there's usually worry. But it's not only at that national level, it's even at a personal level. I think about times when I'm in a certain situation and somebody says a word, and that word takes me way back. It could be in my primary school days to something one of my teachers says. And so what triggers do is triggers take you away from your present reality, and they take you way back. They take you, it doesn't have to be way back, but basically it causes you not to be present in that moment. And so your reaction is a reaction similar to what happened in the past. Another example I can give, you're there, you're driving, and on the dashboard, you realize that you're out of fuel. And because of issues to do with anxieties around finances, the moment you see that, you get into panic mode. And that's a trigger. A trigger could happen in your relationship. You're in a conversation with someone, and they say something, and just the way they say it, the tone that they use, takes you back. It could take you back to your upbringing. And so you're not present in that conversation with them. You go way back. And so how do we deal with these triggers? One, I want to submit to us that triggers are a learning opportunity. They are an opportunity for you to learn more about yourself. I look at triggers in that perspective. When someone says something, and instead of what they've said, I hear my own things, and I overreact. And that happens to all of us because we're human beings. We are fallible. We have weaknesses. Sometimes we misinterpret things. Triggers are opportunities for learning. David put it so well in that beautiful Psalm, Psalm 139. He talks about how the Lord has access to every aspect of his life. And he says, God, come, search me, know me, examine me, test me, find out if there's any wicked way within me, and then lead me in your path of life. Psalm 139 towards the end. And so triggers are an opportunity for introspection, reflection, an opportunity for you to think about what's going on that's robbing you from this present moment. And it's also pointing you to stuff that you need to process, things that have happened that you need to deal with. And so again, I submit to you, what's been triggering you lately? Is it what's going on in our nation? Have you been triggered in the social media space? Have you been triggered because of your political persuasion and then the other political persuasion and what they're saying? Have you been triggered? How will you process these things? I just want to leave you with that scripture, search me. It's an invitation for God to search you, to point his light and to help you figure out what's going on with these many triggers. And Lord, don't leave me there in that explosive state. Lord, lead me in your path of life. I pray that the next time you're triggered, you'll take a pause, you'll breathe in, you'll say, Selah, and you'll allow the Lord to search you and for you to find the path of life. We'll talk more about this in our next video. Thanks for watching CITAM Church Online. God bless you.